All right, let's look at the application now itself. First, a company hub extension. So I'm going to open up Business Central here. This is the new version 17. First thing you'll notice is there is actually a slight adjustment in the user interface. So the font size as well as the font has been adjusted slightly. I like the change. Gives you a little more screen real estate without zooming in and zooming out. So just know there's a subtle change. Specifically the company hub here, though, what this is going to allow you to do is to access easier multiple environments as well as multiple companies. So if you have a situation where you've got development or testing environments and you've got multiple companies in your environment, you're not only going to have visibility to it, but you're going to have really cross access. So I can look at my tasks, I can look at some queue balances, like cash was one of them I noticed on here. So I can see outstanding cash across all companies as well as different environments. So I think this is a great feature, especially if you're working across multiple environments or in a multi-company setting. Group VAT reporting, so some tax improvements, primarily if you're in Canada. I went through the list. I don't think anybody online is using Canada and doing VAT stuff, so probably not relevant to you. Default unit cost for non-inventory items. So this is a nice setup. There's 3 inventory item types now. We've got inventory, non-inventory, and service. So this is a unit cost setting on a non-inventory item. Tracking packages for more types of sales documents. So what you're going to see is tracking numbers are going to be automatically on these documents as well as on these pages. So typically we have to do some enhancements around this if people wanted visibility to that. Microsoft is just making this part of the standard product. So posted sales shipments, posted sales invoices, posted credit memos, and posted returns will include those tracking fields by default. Bank reconciliation improvements, the ability to cancel a posted bank rec. So I went into the system, tried to find this feature, it's not there. I did a little more digging, and what I saw is what we're not going to get basically are all these features dropped October 1st. So we're going to see a set of features that are released when version 17 is updated, and then there are some features that are going to be coming out in a staggered fashion after October. This is one of those. I couldn't see this feature yet, so I don't think this one is going to be out with the official October release. It's going to be coming later, but this is the ability for you basically to cancel a bank rec. So if you made a mistake when you processed it, particularly around the matching, it's going to be easier to fix. Consolidated file format to support Dynamics 365, and that should say finance or finance and supply chain and operations. So that's AX really. I think this is a nice indicator. What this is telling us is that there are organizations out there that are using Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations and Business Central, which is what Microsoft really wanted long-term was, you know, your tier 1 application being deployed alongside of Business Central. So that's happening. So it's the ability to actually consolidate into the larger Dynamics 365 Finance application. So that's exciting, I think, in terms of really adoption of the Business Central product. For you, current users of Business Central, more users means Microsoft pays attention to the product, is going to continue to enhance it. So you benefit, you benefit from more users as well. All right, auto-resolve common data service conflicts. So with Business Central release 17, we're getting some more native connections into the common data service. With that, specifically it's about Dynamics 365 customer engagement integration options, but also being able to just put data into the common data service to leverage Power Apps, Power Automate, or Power BI in a more robust fashion. This improvement is just really helping with the synchronization between the products. So you may not, as an end user, be directly impacted by this, but just know long-term, it's really going to help us long-term from an administrative perspective to have this synchronization cleaned up. So this is a solid move from an administrative perspective that will help us all. All right, check financial journals in the background. This is another feature I couldn't see deployed yet, so I'm assuming it's going to come after October 1st. What this is going to do is it's going to run those pre-checks on journal entries prior to you posting. So right now, you know that if you're missing a dimensional value on a particular account and you go to post the transaction and then you get the warning message after, and now I have to go fix this. What the financial journals in the background is going to do is it's going to give you a fact box on your general journal page that's actually doing those checks as you're entering the transaction. So you can proactively adjust it, make those changes just to eliminate those errors at the time of posting. So I think that's a nice feature. Enhanced email capabilities. So there's quite a few things actually going on with email in this release. The first thing to really to know about is one of the major updates here, the enhancements around the email, is some security settings. So how Business Central connects to your Exchange environment is being changed just to make it more secure. So just know that that's happening. The other thing is going to be enhancements around actually sending emails. So the ability to do out of the box multiple accounts, distribution groups, and what they're saying is improved attachment management. I'm not sure exactly what that means yet, but just know that we're finally getting groups, distribution lists, multiple accounts, that sort of thing. So that's a great enhancement. Improve control over when you post WIP entries to the job or from jobs to general journal. This is, I think, a minor enhancement. If you're using jobs and post WIP, when you go to post the general journal transaction, it wants to post a reversing journal transaction. Sometimes it gets confusing in terms of when the reversal's posting and when your new entry's posting, that sort of stuff. They've cleaned that up. So when you post journal entries or the WIP transaction, it's a little cleaner. Notify users of high-risk changes of selected setup fields. That's really a repetitive one from we've looked at before. Writing longer item references. So this deals with item references on inventory account or inventory items. So you have the ability to reference a barcode, a customer part number, vendor part number, that sort of thing. They've extended the descriptions in the reference fields there. That's a big deal. I have run into some clients where they've had some limitations around reference numbers. So that's a great improvement in terms of extending those. I will just call out that that website again to talk about the enhancements to Business Central. There are quite a few enhancement requests in there about extending, let's say, item part number, just vendor part numbers, customer part numbers. If that's a concern of yours, and I know that some of you have that concern, go out to the website and make sure you vote for those. Again, you can participate and help drive enhancements that will help your system. All right, use recurring journal entries to allocate by balances by dimensional values. This is another feature that isn't in the initial release of the October version. I wanted to find that and show it to you, but it's not out yet. So I'm anticipating that's in a November timeframe. If you use allocations, this is a nice enhancement. It will help you in your allocation processing. Copying journal function, copying posted general journals and having control over that reversing date. That's a great enhancement. We've done that for some other people, but out of the box enhancement. Use word layouts to customize outgoing customer documents. So this is an enhancement around really using word layouts. So word layouts really are available in every report. The problem or the reason they don't always show up is it's typically a development function to create a Word template, upload it into the system so that you've got a base template to work with. Microsoft is predefining a lot of those Word layouts so that more and more documents are available to be used with Word templates. So this again is an enhancement. I think it's way overdue in this particular instance, but it'll help organizations. It helps you to manage your own documents in an easier fashion. All right. Okay, easier to choose the right role center. There's some enhancements around the role center and like the default role center you get based on the permission groups that you've been set into. There's also just some enhancements and some additional role centers that have been created. So if you're not an organization that's really leveraged your role center yet, I just want to encourage you to do that. Take some time as an organization to figure out what role centers really are best. I also encourage you to spend some time to tweak those so that they fit your organization's needs and how you've deployed this system. So user adoption, user satisfaction goes up, I think, when clients do that. At least that's been my experience. Using contact, so that should be contact, not contract, mobile phone number and email consistently across the application. So what we've seen in the past is the email address is used, but it's not consistently used. So Microsoft has cleaned it up so that contact information on your customer vendor bank accounts or contacts in the CRM relationship management system, those are leveraged consistently across the application. So kind of took care of some holes where that was not done in the past. And then using conversion templates to convert contacts to vendors and employees. Just another shout out for templates. If you're not using templates, check them out. They can save you some time. in terms of creating records. This is an enhancement around those contacts that are set up to convert. We had contacts to customers already, but this will convert a contact to a vendor or an employee if you're not using them yet.